NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
As an adult, don't we all miss spring break? Nothing like taking a week off from all your responsibilities. Well, here's the next best thing for adults, a spring break from house payments. SaveWithConrad.com can help you get rid of all your credit card debt just like that. We're routinely helping our listeners save $5, $6, $7, even $800 a month. And you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket to do this, but check this out, no house payments for 2 months. It's SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey guys, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley here, and I need to call a quick timeout, a brief timeout, because I wanted to tell your listeners what I have been telling Foley is Pod listeners for a while now about all the cool things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
A brand new series has arrived on Ad Free Shows. Top of the Card unpacks everything you need to know in the wrestling trading card space. And we're starting with the granddaddy of them all, the 1982 Wrestling All-Stars Series A set.
Now, this set was not exclusive to any one territory at the time, as we were still right at the tail end of the territory era of professional wrestling. So it was basically a who's who in professional wrestling, with card number 1 being Andre the Giant. Others included in the set include Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Ted DiBiase, and others.
20 years ago, Eric took on Stone Cold in the main event on Raw, but the real main event was the confrontation that happened backstage before the show.
Now, the next week, I'm sitting in this chair, and that same guy, I don't think I had said a word to him that day. I don't think I had seen Rick up until the point he came through that door. And he's, getting me, just telling me to get up, get out of the chair. And he's so pissed off, he's bleeding. I'm on the phone, and he's got blood running down his chin because he bit his lip. He was so mad, he bit the inside of his mouth.
He's got blood on a backstage confrontation.
I hadn't even gotten out of the chair yet.
Ad Free Shows members got to sit shotgun alongside Kevin Nash and Click This co-host Sean Oliver as they watch back some of the worst matches in history. None more so than the Yeti.
Randy, now the mummy is not Frankenstein. You don't walk with your arms straight out
with the arms out, right? And a Yeti is also not a mummy, but I don't know. Was it Jim Hurd who was here? Well, whose brainchild was this?
Who gives a fuck?
That's just a small taste, a sampling, if you will, of what we have waiting for you, with 4 levels to choose from. 4. See for yourself why Ad Free Shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now, right now, at adfreeshows.com. Yeah.
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
Hey, this is Kurt Angle, and welcome to the Kurt Angle Show. On the show today, we'll be discussing When I Saved SmackDown. But first, let me introduce to you my co-host, Paul Bromwell. How you doing today, Paul?
Hey, Kurt, I'm doing great. It's good to see you, man. You're in your new office still, and you saved SmackDown. We're going to get into that in a minute, but I'm going to just catch up with you. We kind of knocked out 2 episodes back-to-back, and they were fun episodes, big hits, by the way. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, a lot of good stuff on social media about him. What did you see? Did you see the same thing?
Yeah. And you know what? I really enjoyed talking about those guys. Those guys had a huge inspiration on my career. Those are the guys that I want to be very much alike. And I knew those guys would be the guys that would help me get better. And talking about these guys and me working with them was a complete honor.
Nah, it was, we had so much fun kind of reliving your history with both those guys. Again, 2 Mount Rushmore guys, if you will, Hall of Famers and legends, and hey, who knows? Maybe you'll bump into them when you head out to LA here in a little bit for
I hope
WrestleMania.
so. I'm hoping I can meet up with Undertaker and Stone Cold. It'd be good to see those guys.
Yeah, there you go. Well, listen, not only that, since you and I last saw each other, you had a nice family vacation down in Florida. How was that? You have a good time with the fam?
Yeah, we had a great time. The weather wasn't that great, though. We were a little bit disappointed. The first day was in the 50s. The last day was in the 50s, but we got some good weather in between, the 3 days in between. So I was happy about that. And we just had to switch around our schedule because we were like mega tourists. Okay. We had the whole Kurt Angle tourist thing going where we were going to go to different places every day and we're going to do different things. We had restaurants set up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we're doing the whole tourist thing. And it all came crumbling down because of the weather. And then we had to start thinking, okay, Universal Studios will be tomorrow instead of the following day because the weather will be bad. And it just got to be complete hell. But we had a good time, though.
You made the best of it, right?
Yeah, we did make the best. How about your vacation, Paul?
Same, man. And, we kind of did the every other day thing. Park, relax. And,
we should have did that.
Yeah. With like the relaxed day, we got massages, me and the wife, and the kids had a great time. We tried to cram in a lot of those park days, but man, yeah, I'm with you. It wasn't the best Florida weather when you think about sunny Florida, but hey, it was time away from work, and I'm never going to complain about that. So
you know what, Paul? I'll tell you what. We had a guy named Ralph. He was like our tourist director.
Nice.
And doing that, it's a lot of money, but it's worth it, man. He was able to get us everywhere in fast, quickly, through the fast pass and all the rides and like when we wanted to go see the fireworks at night, we were in the front row. There was a blanket ready for us. When we walked up, we just walked up to the front and they already had it ready for us. It was awesome. I wish our whole trip was like that, but we only did one day.
And that, my friends, is how the other half of the world lives. We all need a Ralph in our life, it sounds like. Holy shit, dude. Nah, that's cool. I might have to get his name at some point if I ever get to that part of my life.
I have his contact information.
Oh, there you go. Well, hey, we're one more quick thing, and then we're going to jump into our topic. And that is, you mentioned it a few weeks ago on the show. It has happened since you got back from Florida. You had back surgery. How you feeling?
Not too bad. I think it actually worked. I don't know yet, but I don't have the pain going down my legs. So the operation definitely worked. I'm hoping that the pain in my back will subside, and hopefully it will in the next few days. And then I'll feel really good about it. But the doctor did a great job. He really did. And I was having problems with my legs and the nerves going down my legs, and that's all gone. So I'm good with that.
Well, Kurt, in true machine form that you are, you were on vacation, you came back, you had surgery, you literally got back out of the hospital the day before yesterday, and here you are, ready to record Kurt Angle. Now, you guys can tell, again, doesn't have the mic, but the guy's been in the hospital, okay? He just got out of from vacation and just got out, and so his home office setup will be here shortly. You guys will notice the audio change here, I promise you, but Kurt's been a little busy, right? So
yeah, the whole operation thing really set me back, but I had to do it, and I wanted to wait till after vacation.
Yeah,
so that's what I did. Yeah,
good for you, man. Well, hey, you mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about how you saved the day for SmackDown back in 2006, and the opening line I was going to use was, "Today, Kurt, the focus is all on you." But pal, isn't that every show? Okay,
it is every show.
Hey, but listen, you were really the focus because we've talked about Austin, we've talked about Taker the last few weeks, but this is really all about you because they needed you. They needed you to come in and really save the day because of an injury to Batista, and we're going to break it down. You did it. It's just like when you saved the USA and won the Olympic gold medal. You're here to save the day once again for the WWE. So the story begins, guys, in early 2006. Kurt, you're in a program with Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, and what seems like you guys are building to another WrestleMania match potentially. But you're also working with John Cena a little bit here, Kurt. Was there ever any talk of moving you from Raw to SmackDown when the year turned, or did this just all happen once the injury occurred to Batista?
No, there was no talk of it. And the reason why is I just got on Raw a couple months prior. I was on SmackDown for years, and I finally got on Raw, and I was getting my groove, wrestling Shawn and John Cena and all the top stars. And then all of a sudden this happens with Batista, and they're caught in a rut. And SmackDown, I don't know if it was because they didn't think they had as many main eventers that could possibly hold the championship. I'm not sure why that was, because I saw a lot of talent over there that they could have given the belt to. But there were a lot of guys on Raw, a lot of main eventers that I think the company wanted one of us to come over to SmackDown and represent the company as a champion over there.
Now, listen, I know this is early. This is early 2006. Prep for Royal Rumble's going on. Do you remember, though, if there was an original plan for Mania for you prior to moving you to SmackDown that kind of got ixnayed?
You know what? I'm not quite sure, but my guess was a repeat against Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
We were doing a lot of on and off. Shawn and I were working together all year long since 2005 at WrestleMania, all through that year, all 2005 and the beginning of 2006. I was still working with Shawn and John Cena, but I would imagine it would be a program either with John Cena or Shawn Michaels.
All right, well, let's go on this journey, boys and girls. The first Raw in 2006, Kurt, you defeat John Cena in a first blood non-title match following a chair shot to the head, and you're being built up as one of the competitors in the upcoming Elimination Chamber match, and getting a win over John Cena makes it feel like you're one of the front runners here, Kurt. I mean, listen, you might be knocking off John Cena at this point. Do you know if that was ever in consideration? Was that the plan?
No. The plan was for John to retain the title.
Okay.
It always was. The reason why they had me go over on John is because I wasn't going to win that Elimination Chamber. John was. And they wanted me to get a solid win over him to keep my credentials as a top guy. So that was a really cool thing to do. And, when we went to the Elimination Chamber match, everybody knew that John Cena was going to retain the title. I do believe, though, I think that's the time when Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank. Am I right?
I believe so. I'd have to go back and check. I think so. But maybe we'll have our guy here who's with us, by the way, in the background, Dom. He can do a little research for us and throw it in the chat. Let us know, Dom, real quick, if that was what happened. But we'll move on because I want to talk a little bit about Shawn Daivari, Kurt. He's your pseudo manager or heater, if you want to call it. What did you think of Shawn? Did you like working with him?
Yeah, he's a great talent, man. A good kid. He was real receptive, always willing to learn. He was a great heat seeker for me because, I wasn't much of a heel at this particular time when I was alone. And I think a lot of the things I did, having the success and putting on some great matches over and over again consistently, I think the fans turned me babyface. And Shawn Daivari was the guy that would keep me heel.
Well, Shawn Daivari did a good job. And by the way, speaking of good jobs, our crack staff right here, the Dom's the man, the rated R superstar. You're right. He held the contract for 280 days and he cashed it in on the January 8th at New Year's Revolution 06 to win the WWE Championship from John Cena. So, Kurt, your memory is not as bad as you think it was, pal.
You know what? I'm glad I didn't win that match because I would have lost it right away anyway.
That's true. No, good point. So you're here, Shawn Daivari. Did you like that pairing, by the way? I mean, he was bringing in some heat at the time. So were you digging it? Were you down for it? Were you, hey, I'm 100% on
Daivari?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, man, he was a guy that got natural heat. I don't know if it had to do with his Mid-Eastern descent. I don't know. But for some reason, Daivari really got a lot of heat. He was definitely a great heel manager.
So let's talk about that New Year's Revolution, Kurt. SmackDown's running a house show, and this is where Batista's taking on Mark Henry, and the big injury happens. Batista tears his triceps, and with him as the World Heavyweight Champion, there is a huge issue now. How soon did you hear about Batista's injury?
Well, fortunately, I guess I should say, I saw Batista after his match that night. We happened to be walking in the lobby of a hotel. I think my pay-per-view Elimination Chamber match and his house show weren't far apart from each other. So we ended up staying at the same hotel. And I walked through the lobby and I saw Batista and he had his arm wrapped and he told me he tore his tricep. And so I went up in my room and I immediately got a call from the office. And they said, listen, we have a problem. We would like you to help us out with it. I said, well, what is it? They said, well, Batista tore his tricep. We need somebody from Raw to come over to SmackDown to be the champion. And I said, well, I just got here to Raw 2 months ago. And they said, well, a lot of top stars on Raw don't want to go to SmackDown. And I couldn't understand why. I mean, I've heard rumors, SmackDown was the B show and Raw was the A show, but I never saw it that way. I always thought they were equally important.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the talent in Raw did not want to go. So I was the last one that they picked and said, hey, would you go? And I said, yeah, I'm a team player. I'll do it. I don't know why these guys don't want to do it. They should step up and say, hey, let's go. Let's roll with this. I'll be the world champion on SmackDown. But nobody wanted to leave Raw except for me. And I did want to leave Raw. I was just being a team player.
But you know what's amazing to me in that whole story, Kurt, is how quickly they decided they needed a top superstar from Raw to make the jump. So, I mean, how quickly after that injury? It wasn't, hey, let's think about it. Who do we have on SmackDown? Who could we, It was, we know, it must have been, hey, we know we have a talent deficit or something, right? They had to.
You have to be right. I don't agree. I really think that they could have utilized somebody that was coming up through the ranks and put the title on them. But for some reason, they wanted somebody established.
Yeah. Quick decision, obviously, if they contacted you that night. So listen, at New Year's Revolution in the 6-man chamber match, which, by the way, had John Cena, Shawn Michaels, Carlito, Chris Masters. You're the first one eliminated, okay? Was that because of the Batista injury, or was that a last-minute call?
No, this is hilarious.
Oh, boy.
All right, let's tell this story. Okay, we all knew John Cena was going to win. Okay, so the five of us that were wrestling against John Cena in Elimination Chamber, we all got together and decided to do paper, rock, scissors and decide who would get eliminated first because nobody wanted to stay in the match because they weren't winning. So I won paper, rock, scissors. So I got eliminated first, and I got to choose who eliminated me, and I had Shawn eliminate me. So that was the story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go, guys. All you super fans that, how's the booking done? I mean, there's got to be intense work done and a lot of thought. It was rock, paper, scissors. Okay.
It was rock, paper, scissors. And listen, that's not like me. I'm not usually the one to avoid working, in a match. But, my body was pretty banged up, and I figured, I might as well give myself a rest this night. And so I won paper, rock, scissors, and I was the one that got eliminated first.
If you read Twitter, Kurt, that's how look, most of the Twitter wrestling fans think that AEW is booked now, rock, paper, scissors. So it wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the last time. All good. Hey, do you know though? So you're told, hey, I'm going to SmackDown next night on Raw. It's from Hershey. So they changing your flight plans? Hey, you're going straight to Hershey. What's that whole scene look like?
Well, I think I was at State College the night before, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so Hershey wasn't far away. It was an hour away. And then Tuesday, SmackDown would be in Philly, which was only an hour from Hershey. So I didn't have to worry about flight changes. It was, all I had to do was take my rental car, drive to Raw, and then drive to SmackDown the next night.
Well, you team up with Shawn Michaels to take on Carlito and Chris Masters. How different is it being on the same side as Shawn compared to being across from him? Do you enjoy that?
You know what? I didn't really help him out very much. It was one of those matches where I was screwing with Shawn and making him wrestle the whole time, and I didn't get in the ring. But anytime Shawn's in a match, it's always going to be better. So you definitely want either tag with Shawn or wrestle against him. And as long as he's in the match, you're going to have a great match. So, but this whole match was structured to make Shawn look strong and to make Chris Masters look strong. So what they did is they had Shawn super kick me because he was frustrated with me. And then Chris Masters put the full Nelson, the master lock on me, and actually made me pass out. And so that made Shawn and Chris look strong. And therefore, I'm leaving to win the world championship tomorrow, the next day. So I'm going to eventually turn out to be strong as well. So this was great booking.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're going to be fine. You're just fine, all good. And like you said, you got the sweet chin music from Sean, the master lock from Chris. Before we go any further, I got to ask, any good stories about Carlito or Chris Masters that you have for us?
You know what? I don't have any. I knew those guys. I didn't know them very well, but I liked them a lot. I love their work ethic, their willingness to learn. Carlito was an established worker when he came into the business in the WWE. I guess, his father taught him a lot back down in Puerto Rico. Chris Masters was coming along really well. So I don't have any stories about him because I didn't really hang out with those guys, but I did like them.
Both entertaining, both had the look good. Carlito went with the apple and spitting in the face, all that good stuff. And Masters just put together, man. Talk about
like a Greek god.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, you mentioned it already. The next night you're in Philadelphia at SmackDown. And is it, you like you said, they're bringing you over to make you champion, right? As soon as Sunday night they told you that.
Yeah, they told me the 2 nights prior.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be champion. And you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I was pretty excited about it.
Did you make a little extra cheese for when you were the champion?
Yes,
Kurt?
of course. Anytime you're world champion, you get paid more. So that's a definite, yes.
So that night on SmackDown, Batista comes out and says he needs surgery and he has to vacate the world title, but whoever wins it in his absence is only champion because he's injured. Okay, you got that, Kurt? Was that something that you would have looked forward to, though? I mean, that's the dumb question, of course, but I mean, working with Batista, that's a dream match for a lot of us fans.
Yeah. Batista was coming along really well. I mean, when he first started, he was a little green, but he started learning the tricks and trades. And he became really good. And when he became champion, he was a very dominant wrestler. And I would have loved to have a program with him, without a doubt.
It's not really explained why you're moved here, Kurt, from Raw to SmackDown, but I think this is one of those situations that really doesn't need an explanation, right? I mean, do you agree?
No. How are you going to tell the story?
Yeah.
Kurt Angle got fired from Raw and joined SmackDown. Like, there was no real explanation for it, besides the fact that Batista was injured. And I think the fans are smart enough to understand why I came over there.
Yeah. How hard is it to put together a battle royal, maybe for fans that haven't heard you explain it before?
Yeah, you know what? It's a lot of memorization. You have to know when you're going to be eliminated. You have to know when everybody else is getting eliminated. You have to know your order. You have to make every wrestler that comes in, when the buzzer beeps and they come into the ring, they have to get a shine. You have to be part of that. So there's a lot of memorization in it. There's not a lot of improv unless you're chopping wood in the corner just to beat down an opponent.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And listen, man, this is a fun night. This is Philadelphia. It's 2006, January 13th. And we're going to watch this one together. We're going to watch the Battle Royal together, Kurt, from Philadelphia. I mentioned it to you before, and I've mentioned it on the show before, but I was actually in attendance this night in Philadelphia.
Nice.
I was there with my friend Anthony Cofrancisco. Shout out to Anthony, by the way, who's a listener of the Kurt Angle show. It blew his mind, Kurt, when I started co-hosting with you. He was like, is this real Paul Bromwell that I used to work with? I'm like, yes, it's me, dude.
I love the name, Francisco.
Yeah, Co-Francisco, yep. And he's a longtime fan. But yeah, we went to the show together, and I remember Batista coming out and doing his thing, and then your music hit, and the crowd going crazy. And so we're going to watch it, and if you want to watch it with us, go ahead and fire up the old Peacock, and we're going to watch this Battle Royal together. It's Season 8, Episode 2. All right. And if you want to make sure you fast forward to 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 33 seconds, and I'm going to count down to it, and we're going to give the fans a chance here, Kurt, to get that dialed in. If you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a small filter over it, but you can see most of the action behind it. And I guess as I give you a chance to find it on Peacock, I'd like to push our YouTube. I mentioned our main man, Dominic D'Angelo, who's sitting and producing behind the scenes with us today. He is crushing it over on YouTube for us. Lots of great clips and working hard for us over there. But Kurt, your YouTube has grown by 6,000 subscribers in just a mere 2 months.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten over there, subscribe, turn on those notifications, because there's lots of great content that Dom is pumping out every single day from the Kurt Angle show. And we're going to continue to try to do some YouTube exclusives, so keep an eye out for that. But again, Peacock Season 8, Episode 2 of SmackDown. 1 hour, 9 minutes, 33 seconds. It's the January 13th episode. And Kurt, you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Champ. Now we're going to find out who a new world champ is. We got one more entry. Who is it? What? What the hell is this? You gotta be kidding me! General Manager Theodore Long? Does he know what's going on? Well, I know what's going on. That's Kurt Angle from Raw! Kurt Angle's here on SmackDown! Wait a minute, what the? Kurt Angle's a part of this Battle Royal to crown a World Heavyweight Champion! I don't know how he swung this. Angle's part of Raw, and JBL is waiting for him. JBL just told the SmackDown locker room, move away, let me take on Kurt Angle. I want Raw's Kurt Angle. Here we go! And here we go! Kurt Angle and JBL, watch out! And there's a German suplex! Kurt Angle from Raw is... Watch out! And JBL has been eliminated! Oh my God! JBL has been eliminated! What the... Wait a minute! Vito's been eliminated! What the... This guy's not even from Smith! What is going on? Everybody ganging up on Kurt Angle! Beat the hell out...
So, Kurt, right off the bat, they're presenting you as obviously a megastar, right? You come down, you kick JBL's ass in 30 seconds. But I'm thinking about it as I watch this, and to your point, you were saying, Paul, there's guys here that you feel like could have won the world championship, and you see JBL. There's Bobby Lashley in the corner. You know, Bobby
Lashley, Mark Henry, Rey Mysterio. Yeah, there are guys that I thought could have won the title, definitely.
And so you get a big reaction when it comes out. Obviously, it was a huge surprise. But, man, Philadelphia is a town that really has always loved you, Kurt. How good has the city of brotherly love been to you over the years?
They always loved me, even as a heel. I don't know why, but in Philadelphia, I've always had a connection with those fans.
It's Pennsylvania, baby. I mean,
yes, it is.
You know,
PA boy. Yep.
So we know how to treat you. But listen, as the Battle Royal begins, let's talk about some of the people in the ring. As I said, you eliminate JBL in 9 seconds. Any favorite JBL stories that come to mind?
No, JBL was just the biggest ribber. I mean, he did some funny stuff and, some very tasteless jokes to a lot of wrestlers. And stuff that I don't even want to announce. But JBL was a great guy to have around because he was entertaining as hell.
Well, as we see Rey Mysterio working on somebody here on the outside ropes, I think that's Orlando Jordan. You eliminate Vito, whose main claim to fame was dressing as a woman during this time. Kurt, any fond memories of Vito?
You know what? I remember Vito in WCW, and I loved his character there. He was like the, Italian, hitman.
Yeah.
I did not like the dress thing. I did not like.
No, not a fan. No, you didn't think he had the legs for it, or?
Fan. I think that might have hurt him a little bit as a superstar. But, he took a chance.
I mean, and you got to try to differentiate yourself, as now we see going face to face, big Mark Henry and God rest his soul, and Road Warrior Animal. Talk about two big behemoths. Any good animal stories that you can recall interacting with Road Warrior Animal?
You know what? I only met him a couple times, so I don't have any stories, but I would have loved to work him in his prime. I mean, I thought he was a really great worker, especially when they were Demolition. Those guys were amazing as a tag team, and I would have loved to work with both of those guys.
Yeah, the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom with Hawk. Man, they are a legendary tag team, one of the greats of all time, if not the greats.
Sorry, I meant the Road Warriors.
That's all cool. And hey, Demolition was, they were very similar, face paint, and no worries there, dude. But, Road Warriors, man, great tag team. There's a few other guys here. Simon Dean, he's a former ECW wrestler. He was Supernova, who recently retired, by the way. Nunzio, also known as Little Guido of ECW fame. You worked with him a few times in ECW, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Nunzio's a tough little bastard, man. I like working with him. You can do whatever you want with him. He was like, hey, do whatever you want. You can kick my ass, throw me all over the place. He is one tough son of a bitch.
And he was, man. He took a beating not only here in WWE, but also he could take a beating. Look, there he goes.
Yeah, he's a great talent.
And it's Morrison. It's from Eminem, right? There's John Morrison. I mean, how can we even forget about him? That guy's going on to do some really good things in wrestling and
he has. He's made it to the top. I mean, it took him a while, but he made it.
Yep, he's been Johnny everything. Yeah. And let's talk about this guy who you're giving the uppercuts to, William Regal.
I love William Regal. He's hilarious.
And you just took him out.
One time he wrestled with the shoes on the wrong feet.
I love it.
Yeah, this guy's a prankster.
Dude, you eliminate Regal, and now here comes Big Mark Henry. Buddy, that guy was a freaking house, man.
Let me talk about Mark for a little bit.
Sure.
When he started, he wasn't really getting it. He kept getting injured quite a bit. Injuries were really complicating his career. And the light bulb wasn't going off in his head for quite a while. And I say his last year of his contract, the light bulb went off and he became an amazing worker. I mean, this guy started doing things that he never did before. He was getting smart, ring smart. He was able to improve to the point that he could work with anybody, because Mark was so strong that, and so powerful that the office, they were a little tentative of him working with some of the top guys. But Mark ended up being a great worker. And I'm very proud of him, because after that, he signed another long-term deal. I'll tell you this, if he wouldn't have got it by his 10th year in the business, they would have let him go. But he got it, and they ended up making him champion this final year. And that's when they extended his contract. And he proved himself.
No, man. And he has, you're right. At the beginning, I did enjoy some sexual chocolate, though. Stuff that he did with me.
It was entertaining, definitely.
That's when you knew he could be entertaining for sure. But right now, he's somebody's going to get their ass kicked guy coming down the ring.
Yeah.
And that guy right here was
you. Get your ass kicked with
and that guy was you, because he just flung you through a table like you were a Ken of the Ken and Barbie collection here. I mean, like
strong
a doll.
Son of a bitch, man.
And here goes Rey Mysterio, dude. He's just flopping around the ring like he always did, man. He is insane, and I'm digging the yellow pants here.
Yeah, this kid's ageless. He's as good now as he ever was.
By the way, we haven't talked about it. Rey Mysterio is going into the Hall of Fame. Did you see that?
That's right. I am so happy for him. I'm surprised that, I'm not surprised they're not doing it when he retires. But I think Rey being inducted in the Hall of Fame this prematurely, I think he deserves it still. I just don't think it's the right time. I think he should get in the Hall of Fame after he retires. But that's me. I'm old school, and that's how I think.
That's interesting. And because who else was talking to me about that? Oh, it was Kyoto. And I said, well, Mike, listen, Edge is wrestling now, and he's an active Hall of Famer, right? He came back. And there's other guys that have come back and wrestled post Hall of Fame. So it's different, I guess. But you're right. He is still actively on the roster. And some people are going to say, hey, let's just wait until they're, they've gone ahead and had their wrestling career behind them, then put them in, versus do you do it when they're active? So I'm interested.
Well, you have to realize this kid's been wrestling for 30-something years.
It's unbelievable. He's ageless.
This Hall of Fame induction was definitely going to happen, whether they did it now or later.
Yeah, he's a surefire Hall of Famer without question. Yeah. Speaking of guys that are just over and crushing it, look at Bobby Lashley and Mark Henry mixing in. Lashley just got knocked out here from Mark Henry, but at this point, this is still early on in Bobby Lashley's career. Isn't it something to see where he's at now? He's another guy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
so proud of him. I got him his tryout in WWE, and he proved to me that he was capable of doing what he does. And you know what? He's gotten better and better every year. He's in his prime right now at this point. And he's been wrestling, for over 20 years, pro wrestling. And he's still able to I watch him on social media.
Yeah.
And he trains his ass off. It's like he's 25 again. He's doing some crazy ass shit that's ridiculous at his age. Because Bobby's 44, 45 years old. He looks like he's 25 still. He's incredible.
The shaved head look he's had for his whole career, and the muscles haven't changed, maybe gotten a little bigger. He looks exactly the same.
He does. He definitely does. It's crazy.
I want to talk about it real quick because we saw him just get eliminated a few minutes ago, and that was Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was also in this match, and he gets eliminated. Are you surprised that you never got a chance to work a program with Matt Hardy at all?
Yeah. That's a damn shame because we both deserve to wrestle each other. It's just unfortunate they didn't come up with a storyline or a program for us. But I would have loved to wrestle Matt. I had many programs with Jeff, just none with Matt, which is really unfortunate.
So here we go. We have a big crowd reaction right now because it is Mark Henry face-to-face with Rey Mysterio. Everyone is on their feet. Rey Mysterio is banging his chest. He's doing the Eddie shake, and they're going to go at it. I want to read some comments here from the Torch. It said, the crowd roared in anticipation of this matchup. Rey used his speed to try to eliminate Henry, but he couldn't find a way to get him over the top. Henry would eventually eliminate Rey and thought he won the title. However, there was a man hanging out around the ringside named Kurt Angle. Angle would try several head scissor maneuvers, and we're going to see this as we continue to watch here. This is still the Rey and Mark Henry, but I'm going to read ahead a little bit. You guys know what happened. But eventually, Angle would grapple with Henry near the ropes and flip him over the top. One of Angle's feet hit the floor before Henry's, but all of Henry's body crashed to the ground before Angle's second floor hit. We're going to listen to that if we can cue it up perfectly, time it here. Taz and Cole made a point of telling viewers that both feet must hit the floor to be eliminated. Angle accepted the World Heavyweight title, then celebrated as the fans roared in recognition of a historic title change. Well-booked match that focused on Henry's strengths and built up Rey for the future. The Torch here gave it 2.5 stars. So Kurt, we're going to listen a little bit here to the Rey Mysterio Henry, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then I definitely want to get into the ending of the match here.
All right, sounds good.
100 pounds! Oh, don't let him grab you, Ray. Don't let him grab you. Mysterio on the apron, teetering close to elimination from this battle royal. Rey Mysterio. No. Caught in the my God, no. And Mysterio's been eliminated. Mark Henry, ladies and gentlemen, has eliminated Rey Mysterio. Mark Henry, wait, Cole. Mark Henry. No, wait, I forgot. Kurt Angle's never been eliminated. Melina thinks, wait a minute. Kurt Angle was never eliminated. Hold on. That's right, Cole. Angle was never eliminated. He was never thrown over the top rope. Mark Henry realizes. You ain't gonna be a Mark Henry. I hope he missed this. It has come down to this. Angle. Here we go. We're exploding, baby. Can you feel it? The right hand by Kurt Angle. Ooh, what an uppercut. Watch the speed of Angle here. Oh, and he just ran into a wall. He ran into a brick wall. God, I'll tell you, Cole. Kurt Angle, he's giving up a ton of size.
Did it feel like a brick wall, Kurt?
Yeah. It's like hitting a real brick wall, yeah.
All right, so Cole's spot on. Here we go.
And Mark Henry gonna eliminate Kurt Angle here. And he's gonna get from behind. Holy Angle slam! Are you kidding me? Oh my!
Now that looks freaking impressive. You Angle slammed him, but he's doing some work there, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He got up for me really well. He's a great athlete. You have to remember, Mark Henry can dunk a basketball. He'll get up for you. Yeah.
Yeah, he made that, and I mean, between the two of you, you both pulled it off, but that looked beautiful. As good of an angle slam as you'll see, especially to a big guy. We're getting to the ending here.
Telling you, 2 men remain. Watch out! The winner becomes World Heavyweight Champion. And now all Mark Henry has to do is lift Kurt Angle up, toss him over the top rope, and Mark Henry will have climbed the mountain. And not a hard task when you're a moniker, and the truth of the matter is that you're the world's strongest man. Yeah, you saw how he ripped that steel door off the cage last week. Watch out. And again, crushing Kurt Angle.
So for those that say wrestling's fake, how does that feel when you get the avalanche splash in the corner?
You know what? A spot like that can make you crap your pants. It'll knock the wind out of you and you'll crap yourself.
All right. Well, hopefully on this night you didn't. At least I don't want to see any remnants of it sliding down your shorts. So here we go. We're getting to the end.
Kurt better try and do something. As he's perched up there, slap across the face. What the hell's Kurt Angle doing here? Kurt Angle, wait a minute. He's going for, it's like a head scissor, almost like a triangle choke. Kurt Angle trying to get Mark Henry over the top rope. Get his head in this. He scissors his head up. Mark Henry could be fading here. Angle's trying. Henry's too strong. Yeah, way too strong. But Kurt Angle still got it locked in. Kurt Angle still has it locked in. But Angle better be careful here. Angle's got to hang on. Mark Henry's too tall. He's too thick to get over that top rope with that head scissor. Kurt Angle trying to get Mark Henry over the top rope. Even if Mark Henry passes out here, how the hell do you get that dead weight over the top rope? Hey, Kurt Angle! He's going to go flying. Angle's done. But Mark Henry, oh my! Oh, power bomb.
No wonder you need back surgery, Kurt. Give me a break.
I'm taking a pounding here.
Yeah, you are. My goodness.
Yeah, I think Kurt Angle's done. He'll be heading back to Raw with a major league headache after that. Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist. Mark Henry, Olympic competitor as well. The world's strongest man against the nasty, rugged Kurt Angle. The last man standing becomes world heavyweight champion. Melina barking instructions to Mark Henry. Kurt Angle with the right hand. Here comes Kurt Angle, but another clubbing blow by the near 400-pounder. Well, all these SmackDown fans here in Philadelphia are all on their feet, including me. This is off the chart, man. Kurt Angle whipped across the ring. Kurt Angle ducks underneath the clothesline. German suplex! A German suplex! I'll tell you what, that might have took everything out of Angle. I don't know if he's trying to peel off that whole throw, but you know all about suplexes. What's it like to suplex a 400-pound man? Well, how can you suplex or throw a 400-pound man? You can't. Kurt Angle tried to back bridge, but it's so high-pressing.
Again, just more example of Mark Henry and his ability here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a great athlete. That's one thing about him, Paul. He'll get up for you. He'll jump for you. He's actually very light on his feet.
And he was there taking that suplex. And Kurt, you got him in the front face lock. And this is the time I had forgotten. And to watch this back that he had Melina with him. She's obviously very vocal. You can hear her screaming. But I like that. I like that those two together.
Yeah, I did too. I thought they were a great couple. She's a really good manager. She was with Eminem for a while. And then with Mark, but she's great. She definitely is.
And here we go. I believe if I'm not mistaken, we're getting into the ending here of you and him trying to get over these ropes with Charles Robinson, the legendary referee, on the outside.
Yeah, this is a nice, slow and easy elimination.
Yeah. Now, do you remember putting this together or talking through this, or what this between you and Mark? Was this just you two kind of talking through it that day?
This was not all planned. This was all improvisation because it took me longer to get Mark outside the ring. But yes. Mark and we had more time to kill. So we actually elongated that match. And Mark did an incredible job of keeping his composure. So we had another 5 minutes added on. We had to keep going.
And there it is, Mark Henry.
So the first time I was trying to kick, when I had the leg lock on his head and I tried to get him over, that's when I was going to eliminate him. But they said, you got 5 more minutes.
Holy shit. So okay, there's something.
Yeah.
There's something we did not know and learned. And Dominic, you're right. That should be better than the 2.5 stars and that was from the Torch that gave it to it. So we're gonna give the Torch some shit for that. But let's listen to the fireworks.
What is confetti?
Well, on a celebration.
It's coming.
Angle is on Raw. Great congrats. You're the new World Heavyweight Champion. What is this? What is going on here? I don't know what to tell you, partner. All I can tell you is this. Kurt Angle is the World Heavyweight Champion. Let's take another look at this. Remember, both feet have to hit the ground. We will show you that. Let's take a look. Both Kurt Angle's feet do not hit the ground here. Watch this. Hold on, let's watch. Watch. Kurt Angle's Well, hold on, listen. 1 foot doesn't count. Both feet have to hit the ground. You get eliminated. Angle's 1 foot did. There's your winner, Cole. Kurt Angle, the new World Heavyweight Champ. He's from Raw. I don't get it. Kurt Angle has suddenly appeared here tonight. He has surprised us all and captured the World Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle's from Raw. I don't understand this.
He's from Raw. I don't get it. What happened? Buddy, there it was. I think I saw myself with confetti up my nostril and a cheesesteak hanging out of my mouth. But, man, what a great show. It's a great memory, personal memory for me. And I got to see you live win a world championship. And we got to relive it here for our fans. You still remember that night, Kurt, very vividly?
Yes, I do. It was a great moment for me. I mean, the crowd went completely crazy.
Yeah.
And winning that title made me feel good again. You know, I didn't have a title for a little while there. So this was the next one that I got, and I was very excited about it.
You have to be happy that you moved to SmackDown after that huge celebration and that huge win, weren't you?
Yes. I just did I deserve the title? Probably not. I think somebody else might have deserved that. But you know, I'll take it. Was it one of my favorite title wins? No, because I really didn't earn it. You know, I just came in and won the Battle Royal, and you know that was it. So the other titles I definitely earned. I worked for them.
Now, come on. You went through the table on the outside. You took some power bombs, some Mark Henry.
I know. There weren't any long programs.
I know. I hear you. Where does it? You said it's not your favorite as far as memory of a title win, but where does it rank when it comes to WWE championships?
Last.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but listen, that's my favorite title. I love the world title.
Yeah, the way that belt looks.
Yeah,
that's your favorite. It. Yeah, that's the big gold, man. The look of the big gold.
Favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite was when I beat Stone Cold. My second favorite was when I beat The Rock. My third favorite's when I beat Big Show and Brock Lesnar, and this one was my last one.
Okay. All right, there you go. Well, listen, man.
Wait a minute. I also won.
Who can we really keep up?
Yeah, I won 2 more titles: WCW and another WWE World Championship, I guess. So I have 6 total. Yeah.
When you've won as many as you won, Kurt, it's all good. We expect you to forget a few. Then you went to TNA and won all their belts. At one point, you held every single title at once, for God's sake.
That was fun.
And you know what was cool too is you coming down with your Olympic gold medal on. Was that the official, or was that a?
No, that was a duplicate that Vince McMahon had made for me, and those things weren't cheap. They cost. Vince got me 3 of them. They cost $3,000 each, and Vince wanted me to wear the one that replicated the real one. And so he didn't want me to wear those cheap gold medals that I was using at the beginning of my career, where I had a bunch of them around my neck. Vince wanted me to have the one that looked like the real gold medal. So he had it made. I actually had 2 stolen in arenas by fans because I put the medal down in the corner of the ring, and someone took it over to the announce desk, and then a fan probably reached over and grabbed it.
Hey, so, Dominic, was it you, D'Angelo, that snagged one of those? Because I see you smirking over there. It was probably in Pittsburgh.
Listen, if I would have seen that gold medal there sitting there, I would have took it too.
Hey, you mentioned a little while back that you may have some, you may be able to get some replicas for sale on your website. Is that still a possibility at some point, you think?
I don't know. Replicas on my website. No,
replicas of your gold medal. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm not selling replicas. I am going to start selling the little gold medals.
Okay.
Yeah.
The little gold medals. Okay.
The little ones. Yeah, the kid gold medals.
Kid ones. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, and Dominic says he's blaming the D'Angelo side of him. So there you go. That's the evil side. Let's get to some fan questions and we'll wrap this one up, man. I really like to relive in that moment for you. Devin Dowling from the KOC, he says, Kurt, was there any talent in particular that you were eager to face when you returned to SmackDown?
You know what? Yeah, definitely. JBL, Rey Mysterio, Eminem, both of those guys, I would have loved to work singles matches with each of them. There were a lot of talent back then.
You mentioned Matt Hardy?
Yeah, Matt Hardy, who I never had a program with. There was definitely a handful of talent that I would have loved to work with.
All right, there you go. And Francis Reyes, it's like he was reading your mind, Kurt. He says, what did you think about the big gold belt?
Oh, I loved it, man. It was my favorite. The more gold, the better. I love that belt. It was my favorite belt.
Great answer. He was a gold lover, so of course he loved it. Jason Bayless is up next. He says, Kurt and Daivari came to SmackDown as heels. The first person he dumped in the Battle Royal was JBL. Was that kind of a seed planted for his upcoming babyface turn, since Bradshaw was like the #1 heel on SmackDown at the time?
Probably. I would say yes. It was probably planned out that way because of that. It's definitely a possibility, yes.
Yeah. A couple more questions here. Liam Evans says, if Batista didn't have to surrender the title due to him being injured for this Battle Royal to take place, were there any plans for you to win the title from him at a later date that you know of?
That would have remained to be seen, but there were no plans that I heard of.
Yeah, nothing that you were aware of there. Mr. Tusk is up next. What were the original plans for you for WrestleMania 22 before this, or had that not even been talked about yet?
They weren't talked about, but my guess was a repeat with Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 2005. We were doing a lot of work together, and I would have been really excited about that. But definitely working Shawn again would have been the match that I would have picked for WrestleMania. Definitely. To be able to wrestle Shawn a second time at WrestleMania, that would have been incredible.
Bobby's up next. He said, thanks again for this podcast. I really enjoy watching it each week. So he's watching us. Bobby, hope you're doing well, man. He said, Kurt, did the office tell you how long your world title run would be and what to expect, where it was going, etc.? Did they kind of inform you, or was it like, hey, we're going to put the title on you and we'll figure it out as we go?
Well, I would say it was going to be a lot longer than it did occur. You have to remember Eddie Guerrero passed away at this particular time. Rey Mysterio was representing Eddie Guerrero, and we ended up wrestling each other with Randy Orton in a triple threat at WrestleMania. But I broke my neck again about a month and a half before that. But my doctor didn't tell me to sit at home. He said, listen, you broke your neck 4 times. Just keep wrestling. He said, just be careful, though, because you don't have any problems with your discs. You have 4 broken vertebrae that are broken, but you can still wrestle. Just be careful. And so because of my broken neck and because Ray was representing Eddie Guerrero, they decided to have Ray win the title at WrestleMania 22. Now, if I didn't break my neck, I might have held the title for a while longer, maybe to SummerSlam, and then dropped it to Ray.
All right. Well, Yambag Jones is up next. Our final question this week, Kurt. He says, how was it getting someone the size of a refrigerator up for the Angle Slam?
You know what? Like I said, the guy's an incredible athlete. He's 360 pounds. He can dunk a basketball. I saw him do it at the Olympic Training Center. This guy is impressive. He's an incredible athlete for being 300 and something pounds. He is one of the best athletes. Anybody over 300 pounds, he's the best athlete in the world.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's something else. Well, listen, Kurt, next week, we're going to talk about when you left TNA, when you knew it was the end, how it all went down, what your plans were, and a lot more. So, guys, these are the episodes that I'm telling you, I enjoy these TNA shows, especially on YouTube. We now have them filter-free on the videos and the matches that we watch along. But you, too, can check out Impact Wrestling and all the matches that Kurt has had in his great career right now. ImpactWrestling.com/packages and sign up using that code KURT. That's what you can do. Listen, next week we're talking about him leaving TNA, and then we're going to do a watch-along from Lockdown 2008. So head over to ImpactWrestling.com/packages, and really it would help us out a whole lot if you would do that, and we would appreciate it. Remember, the promo code is KURT. Kurt, man, let's talk about a few other things before we get out of here this week, one of which is AFS, and they're offering a free trial right now where you can get all the shows on ad-free early and ad-free and more access than ever to at least a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts at $9 a month. But right now, Kurt, they're doing this deal where you can sign up and enjoy the first week absolutely free. And, man, that's a home run, isn't it? A free trial week to see all the stuff on ad-free.
Oh, yeah. Go check it out, guys and girls. Get on there and listen to every podcast that you can listen to. You'll enjoy it. I promise you.
That's right. And Kurt and I have done a ton of bonus content on for ad-free, so you can go check all that out there. They have a lot of great shows. Insiders with John Filippelli is on there. Our own Dominic D'Angelo, he's hosting stuff left and right. Every time I turn around, he's got another new guest coming out. I saw he just interviewed Jesse the Body Ventura. Are you kidding me?
Nice, Dom.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of content you're not going to find anywhere else. Not only that, they have live experiences where you get to watch along shows as well. So check it out. I also want to talk about how you can advertise with us here. You can go to advertisewithangle.com right now, and you can, if you have a product or service that you want to get across to our members, our listeners, that's the way to do it. Our business targets 25 to 54-year-old men. That's our demo. That's the folks that are listening to our show. And if your business targets that demographic, then this is the place for you. So again, make sure you're taking advantage of that. It's advertisewithangle.com. And you can also check us out on our social media handles, whether it's Kurt's personal @RealKurtAngle or our show handles at The Angle Pod. Like I mentioned, youtube.com/The Angle Pod. Subscribe, like, turn on those notifications, and you're going to see all the content you ever wanted from your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle. And my God, he's entertaining as hell. And if that's not enough, he's also going to help you get a little healthy too. And you can do that with physicallyfit.com. Isn't that right, Kurt?
Yep, I got chicken snacks, crispy protein bites, and snack smart crispy protein bites. One's chicken protein, one's organic plant protein. They're incredible. They're all great flavors, 11 different flavors, including sour cream and onion, wild buffalo and blue cheese, cinnamon swirl. Great flavors. High protein, low carbohydrate. Go to physicallyfit.com to order yours. You'll love them. I promise you.
There you go. Check them out. If you're watching on video, you can see those deliciously bagged snacks. And then we mentioned it already, KurtAngleBrand.com. That's where you're going to eventually maybe be able to get kid-sized gold medals. But right now, you can get cameo videos, T-shirts, birthday cards. Kurt, that's where it's at if they want to find all things Kurt Angle, isn't it?
Any Kurt Angle merchandise, go on to KurtAngleBrand.com. We got photographs. We have birthday cards, cowboy hats, milk cartons. You name it, we got it. We got T-shirts, cameo voice messages, video messages. It's all there. Just go on the website, order it, and I'll get it to you.
You can also see that in the banner ad below, this amazing milk truck that we sit in here that Dominic designed for us as well. But lastly, I want to tell you about Box of Gimmicks, because that's where you're going to find a lot of the cool designs that are out there now. The Ratings Machine T-shirt, that Steel City merchandise for the Kurt Angle Show. That's where you find all the Kurt Angle Show stuff. And support your boys from PA that are here every week trying to entertain you as much as possible. Talking about Kurt Angle's career, we're going to do it again next week, and we're going to talk about when he left TNA and all that good stuff. And guys, be on the lookout because dropping here in the next few days, it's from Kurt's Angle, the YouTube exclusive, where Kurt predicts his WrestleMania match winners and losers. That's going to be exclusive to our YouTube followers, so you don't want to miss it. Kurt, thank you so much for doing the show with me this week.
Thank you, Paul. I had a great time, man.
With that, on behalf of your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, this is Paul Bromwell. We'll see you right here next week on The Kurt Angle Show.